This is the makeup tutorial for Babette. We're going to do some really exaggerated makeup for her. First, we've already applied a foundation over the entire face, and then I'm also going to do a loose powder. I like NYX. You can get it at any Target or Walgreens, and you can do either a clear or a color to match the skin tone. I would actually recommend doing a clear because you can do it for the eyeshadow as well, just for setting if you use any creams. So this just helps set everything. So I'm actually going to start with her cheeks, and I'm going to do a darker color underneath her cheekbones. And it is going to be pretty heavy. We're doing stage makeup, so everything we do is going to be bolder than you would normally do. So I'm going to do a really dark color here. And on the other side, then I'm going to do a really light, this is the NYX Contouring Powder Palette. It has all the different colors that you would need for any kind of blending that you're going to do. I'm using this lightest color because it actually has a little bit of a shimmer in it too. And go ahead and close the eyes. I'm going to do it right on top, above where the cheekbone is and on the side of the eye. That's where I want that light powder. This just helps brighten up the face and brighten up around the eyes. And then now that you can see those two colors, the light and the dark, I'm also going to apply the blush in between, and that goes right on top of the cheekbones. We're also going to do that pretty heavy. We want to make sure that we add that red color to the face. Stage lighting really washes out any kind of skin tone. So we want to add that pink, live looking color to the face. Okay, now that I've gone pretty heavy on those, I do want to blend it slightly. I don't want there to be a line between the dark color and the jaw. So I'm going to take a lighter color and blend that out. Okay, I'm also going to add one more dark color to each side of her nose. It just helps deepen the face. Okay, so now that we've done the face contouring, we're going to do the eyes for Babette. Her eyes are both silver and gold. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a light cream over the entire eye. I prefer to do this because it helps grab the makeup that I put on afterwards, especially if you're using powder. Powder is very loose and can be rubbed off easily if it doesn't have something to hold on to. You can also use just foundation for this part. I just really like this particular cream. It's called Infallible by L'Oreal. You can find this one almost anywhere, but I get it at Fry's. So after I've applied that base, I'm going to do my lightest color, and I'm actually going to do this twice, which sounds silly, but I'm going to apply the light color to the inside of the eye, about halfway past her inner eye, and I'm going to do it to the top right underneath the eyebrow. And then you're going to notice on your paper that I talk about white eyeliner for the inner eye in a dot. You can use white eyeliner. You can also just use powder. And I'm going to show this to you now, but you also apply it at the end. You're going to put about a pea size on the outside. And it's a little further than the actual eye because that dark color we're going to use is going to go out pretty far. And then on the inside. This helps with the contrast of colors. If we're only applying the dark colors to the eye, it really closes the eye. It doesn't help us open it. And for those facial expressions on stage, we really need that eye open as possible. So that's why we do that, and we're going to do it at the end as well. So for Babette, I'm now going to start with the crease of the eye. So I'm going to use black for Babette. Her crease is going to be very exaggerated. So I'm going to have her look up a little bit. I'm just going to follow the natural crease of the eye as well as the shape of her eyebrow. It makes it look a little bit more natural. So I'm just going to apply it here and all the way down to the crease, to the inside of the eye. And I'm gonna round it a little bit and apply it so that it goes around, because it also has to meet for the bottom line as well. Now I'm going to take it up a little further. I want it pretty high, but not high enough to where you can't see the space between the eyebrow and the creasing. So I'm going to do it about here. And do it pretty dark, because Babette's going to be very exaggerated. Make sure it's actually applied lighter and thinner at the inside and thicker and darker as it goes. So that will just help with your blending at the end. So now I'm going to do my silver first. And silver is hard to find in a powder, so I'm just going to use a light gray, and I'm going to go over that with a sparkly eyeliner that I like, and I will show you that in a minute. And this gray I have here, this is just a palette I've had for a long time that I like. Find any kind of gray sparkly that has a shimmer in it, and that will be fine. Do it a little bit light. We don't want it too dark, because like I said, we want the brightest color to be on top. So whenever you're doing a smoky eye, you want 2 to 3 colors, the light, the medium, and the dark. So the light in our case is just this cream light color, the dark is the black, and then the medium for us is the silver and the gold. So now that I've applied the gray, I'm going to apply the gold color, and you can't really find a great gold powder, or at least I haven't. So this is a cream I like. You can get this in silver as well if you want to use just both creams for the eye. It's called Color 24-Hour Tattoo by Eye Studio. I think it's Maybelline. Yeah, Maybelline. And so it should go lightest, silver, gold to the black. So now I'm going to do the gold right on top here. And apply it pretty heavy, because we do want that gold to be seen pretty well. Okay, so now that gold is applied, I'm going to blend it a little bit with any brush that you have, and just mix it in with the silver at the edges, and then mix in that black as well. We want it to be dark, but we want it to blend. Okay, great. I'm going to go ahead and clean up that loose powder, because I am done with the powder. I'm just going to use a clean brush that I have. You can also use a cotton ball, whatever you want to use to get rid of that excess powder that falls down. Okay, so here are these sparkly eyeliners that I like. They're by NYX. I'm pretty sure I found these ones at Walgreens. There's gold and silver, so you're going to want to grab both. And I'm just going to apply it over what we've done in those areas. So my silver. It just adds a really good sparkle and really good color at the same time. It'll really exaggerate everything. I am going to recommend that you get a clear powder to put over the top just really lightly to help it set. But let it dry before she, goes off, and, maybe let it dry a little bit even before she opens her eye, just to help it set. Don't want to do it too heavy, because then it will take forever to dry. I'm going to spread that around. I'm just using my finger to kind of blend those two together. Okay, now I'm going to do the other eye. So quarter of the eye is going to be white, quarter of the eye is going to be silver, quarter gold, and the other quarter is going to be your really dark color. So I'm not going to have her open her eyes just yet. I'd like that to dry a little bit. And while she's sitting there, I am going to use, powder one more time. So I'm going to use that white powder to add that color again, like I said in the beginning, in the corner of the eye. This light color is going to help with the contrast and make sure these eyes are seen on the back of the stage. The lighting will really help us out here. So you can use your finger to do these dots. Just make sure it's really heavy in like a pea-sized area on the outside and on the inside. Really want that light. Now this section you can do during pictures, but it's not necessarily needed because we don't have that stage lighting for pictures. So you don't have to do this part for pictures, but make sure we do it for staging. Great. Okay, so while she has her eyes closed, I'm going to go ahead and apply the eyeliner real quick. I'm using a flat brush, and I use a cream eyeshadow by e.l.f., or a cream eyeliner. And you don't have to, you can use a pencil, whatever it is that you prefer. I like a cream because I find I have a little bit more control with a brush because it's what I'm used to. So we are going to stretch the eye just a little bit, and I start from the outside and work inside because it helps me make sure the line curves with the eye. We don't want it straight across. We want it to curve with the natural line of the eye. Okay, for Babette, we do want her eyeliner a bit heavy, so just apply it a couple times until you feel like it's pretty bold. And we do want to go a little bit on the outside of the eye to do a point. It's not necessarily a cat eye, we just want it a little bit exaggerated. Makes the eyelash line look bigger and fuller. So that's what I'm going to do here. And I'm going to go ahead and do that to the other side before I have her open her eye and we do the underside. Okay, I'm going to have her open her eyes now, and we're going to do the under of the eye, so she's going to look up. I'm going to pull this down just a little bit and follow the natural line of her lashes here. Okay, the last thing I'm going to do here is the lipstick and the eyebrows. Eyebrows play a really big part in facial expressions. When you're surprised, when you're angry, a lot of that is used with your eyebrows. So on stage, we want to really make sure these are seen. I'm going to use the same brush I use for my eyeliner because it's flat. And I'm going to use whatever color I think is going to look best with her natural hair color. So I wouldn't just use black. I'm going to use a lighter brown and really just trace the natural line of her eyebrows and fill in any spaces. If you want to add a little bit of an extra arch, you definitely can. Arches help with facial expressions. And then the very last thing is her lipstick. I will say that the lipstick I wanted to find before was really tough, so I found another one that I like. Instead of the Smoky Rose, it's called Rose Velvet. It's 130. It's still by Revlon. I like this one as well. It's a little bit more pink, but I'm okay with that. So I'm just going to loosen her lips here and apply it. Apply it pretty heavy. I like the color a little bit bolder for this one. I'm going to have her rub. And then I'm going to do a liner. Just find one that's a little bit darker than the lipstick and just apply around the line of her lips because that'll help exaggerate that line so that her facial expressions are really dramatic. Okay, so now I'll give you a close-up and that will be the Babette makeup.